Hello and welcome. Today we are building a powerful interactive stock analysis dashboard with Python and Streamlit. You will be able to explore and rank stocks across global markets dynamically and in real time. So let's dive into it. If you missed the first video where we set up the data and ranking system, check it out in the video description. Before we are getting started, thanks a lot to NVIDIA for sponsoring this video. GPUs are revolutionizing computing, from scientific research and AI training to financial analysis. Python, while popular for data analytics and deep learning, is often considered too slow for high-performance tasks. Until now. With NVIDIA's CUDA Python, you can accelerate workflows using GPU-based processing for a massive boost in performance. On January the 16th, NVIDIA is hosting a free webinar on accelerating Python on GPUs. You'll learn how to use tools like Rapids, cuDNN, and more to supercharge your applications. Plus, attendees get a free NVIDIA training course valued at up to $90. The webinar will be recorded, so don't miss out. Register now through the link in the video description. Thanks again, NVIDIA, for sponsoring this video. Alright, let's get started. As you see, I opened up a flat Python file named lit_dashboard.py here. Just as a remark, Streamlit can only process flat Python files. So if you're working in a notebook, you have to make sure that you transform this IPYNB file to a Python file. In this case, I'm just starting from scratch in a flat Python file, just to keep things simple. And first of all, we just need two libraries, that is pandas for data handling and also Streamlit, as this is a Streamlit dashboard and we want to use Streamlit functions in order to build the dashboard and make it as fancy as you saw it is. These are the only two libraries we need for this one. And then I'm going to set up a function which will cache data for better performance and also ensures numeric columns like market cap and price earnings ratio are ready for ranking. I've done that in the previous video as well, but anyhow, I have to do it in this one as well. So first of all, we need to set up cache data here and then define the function, just calling that load data. And this function is simply reading in our CSV file we created in the last video. So just read CSV and then we called it global stock screener.csv. Then we are doing the numeric transformation. That is the same story as in the previous video. So we just loop over the numeric columns and then transform them to numeric values. That was market cap in US dollar. Just as a reminder, US dollar because we had global markets in different currencies, so we had to bring them all together using one currency. Then price earnings ratio and dividend yield. Obviously, if you extend your dashboard by other metrics, you have to add them here as well if they are numeric. So for a column in numeric columns, then we just reassign this column and make it numeric. df call. And then in case you're running into an error, you just want to get a NaN value. This is what Coerce is doing. And in the end, you just return the data frame. So this is just loading the data, keeping it in a cache. So it doesn't have to pull the data all the time newly when you click any buttons. And with that, you're getting the data into the dashboard. Simple as that. So how do you call that? Let's just call that screener df as in the last video. And we call the function. And then just to show you how things are working from scratch, I'm just using st data frame. So this is a Streamlit data frame just to display the data frame. And then we see screener df. So if I'm saving this file, remember in Visual Studio Code, you always have to save in order to make changes visible. So just press the shortcut here and then run the dashboard like this. So open up your terminal, very convenient. In Visual Studio Code, you just have it at hand and then you say Streamlit, run, and then the file name, which is lit dashboard.py. So let's see how the dashboard until now is looking like. So you see, you're just getting a dashboard with the data frame. So we have ticker, company name, market cap, price earnings ratio, dividend yield, the sector, industry, currency, market cap, and the market. So this is a pretty large data frame containing all our unprocessed data. So it is loaded in the cache, and this is the data frame we will be working with. So let's get back to the code so we can continue building up this dashboard. So I'm just going to exit here and then go back to Visual Studio again. Then stop the dashboard here. And then I'm out here again and can continue my work. So we need the screener data frame, obviously, in order to make this dashboard work. But we don't need this Streamlit data frame. We need a ranking function. This is what we define next. This is also nothing new. I've built that in the previous video as well. So this is just ranking stocks based on a certain column. So in our case, just on the numeric, so market cap, price earnings ratio, and dividend yield columns here. And whatever column you pass, it is ranking the data frame by this column. Standard will be ascending false, so it will be descending order as a default value, and it will pick the top 10 by default if not passed anything else, or if not picked anything else from the user. But we have not yet set that up, so let's keep the function as it is for now. Then we just want to have a rank on the data frame, and we simply take whatever your column you're passing, so e.g. dividend yield, and then you rank, pass the ascending argument to whatever you pass to this function, method min, and then you have ranked your stocks by whatever column. Then you only want to get the top n. So you just take the ranked data frame, or the data frame in general, and sort it by this rank. So by this column you've just created, assigning it a rank. So you just sort the values by this rank. And then you just pull the head of the data frame. So you just pass top n. So this will just bring you the top 10 values based on whatever column you were ranking here. So in this case, you have a descending value, so you will get the top 10 value in a descending order here with this. And finally, you just return what this function is producing, and that is the rank data frame, namely the rank, the ticker, the company name, whatever column you were ranking on, and the market. So in our case, S&P 500, Nikkei, Hang Seng, and NIFTY. That's it for the ranking function. If you've watched the previous video, nothing new until now. So let's start with some layout of the dashboard. So we want to give the dashboard a title. So just using Streamlit functionalities and give it a title. So I mean, it's a global stock screener, but you can name it whatever you want. And now we also want to have a sidebar in this, and this is where the user is picking stuff. So st sidebar, then header, user options, or whatever you want to name it. All right. So how can we utilize that now? Just that you understand how this is working. So let's just define the markets and screen our screener data frame for the unique market values. These are just the markets we have included in the global stock screener file. And that is, as I just said, S&P 500, Hang Seng, Nikkei and NIFTY. Extendable by whatever market you are interested in. So screener, data frame, market, unique. So you just pull the unique values in the market column. Then you want to create a variable where you have the selected market stored by the user. So you just create a sidebar again, add a MultiSelect so the user can pick multiple markets. Give the MultiSelect a name so the user knows what actually has to do with that select. So you just say select markets to include. And then you define the markets and also set a default value, which is just all markets. So you see, by default, you are picking all markets, but if the user is just picking 2 of the 4 I just mentioned, the selected markets will only get the 2. So in the end, you want to have a filtered data frame by those selected markets. But before doing that, let's see how the Streamlit dashboard is looking until now. So let's save that and just run the same command again. So Streamlit run lit dashboard. And then let's pull this over here. Oh, wait a second, this is maximized, sorry for that. So, and this is not bad that we are getting an error, so you also see that I'm doing fixes on the fly, so we have an error example here. So Streamlit errors, blah, 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 head is not a valid Streamlit command. SD sidebar, head, user options. So let's see where I messed up here. So probably just I just had a typo here. So that should be a header and not a head, obviously. So this is just a header, so typo from my end. So let's save the file again. And then it even says source file changed here. So you can just rerun it. So let me enlarge that for now. And then we should get what we wanted to get, yes. So you see now we have select markets to include. By default, as I said, we have all markets, and then the user can play with the MultiSelect. So he can just pick only the Nikkei, but he can also add markets here. So pretty cool feature in my opinion. But we still have a quite naked dashboard. So let's continue our work here. So let me get that smaller here and let's enlarge that again and continue our work here. So next, we want to filter our data frame, our screener data frame containing all data by whatever the user picked. So filtered data frame is going to be screener data frame, and then the market values. And we're just checking if they're in the selected market from the user. So we just filter our screener data frame for whatever the user picked in this MultiSelect box you just saw. Then we continue with ranking options. So you remembered on the left-hand side in the sidebar, you had the market cap, price earnings ratio, and dividend yield as an option. So we just add that. And that is basically the similar logic as this one here, by the difference that you just have a single select because you just want to rank by one ratio here. So ranking options are just the numeric values. So I'm just going to copy paste them from above here because I'm too lazy to type them down here. So ranking options are just our numeric values, and then same logic as above here with the selected markets. You're just taking the selected metric. in this case. And then same story, you want to have a sidebar, and then in this case not a multi-select but a single select. So you just pick a select box, and then again just give it a title. So select a metric to rank by, and then provide the options, which are just market cap, price earnings ratio, and dividend yield. And this, I'm not executing this dashboard again because, I mean, this is very straightforward. You just get a select box with the ranking options, but I will show you in the end the final product anyways. Next, you want to let the user decide if the order is ascending or descending. So the background of this, I've explained that in the previous video. The user might be interested in the dividend yield descending, but he might be rather interested in the price earnings ratio ascending. So it's dependent on the metric if the user wants to have it as descending or ascending. So we want to give him or her the option and define a sort order. Again, add it to the sidebar. Just take a radio here and then pick sort order, and then provide him the options he can pick in a list. So obviously end the string here and then provide descending and ascending. So you have this, and then you just say, okay, ascending equals to the sort order, and that equals to ascending. So obviously avoid the typos that I'm doing here. So you just say, okay, we have ascending that is equal to the sort order, and if that is ascending, this is going to be true. If that is descending, this is going to be false. So a very straightforward Boolean check here. Now, you want to have the top values of the stock. And this is just the user pick where he picks the N. So you just want to have the user pick whatever number of stocks you want to include in the selection. And that is just a slider. So you can also take another sidebar option for that, but I think the slider is the best one for this, as the user can just toggle around that and play around with that. You can also do that with a single select, but I recommend to just use a slider for that. It's the best practice for numeric values like this. So sidebar, and then you add a slider, give it a name again, number of top stocks to display, and again you define, or not again, this is new actually, you define a corridor of the minimum value and the maximum value. So you just give the slider a range. So let's say you want to have the minimum value as 5. You can also take 1 here if you want to slide from 1 to X, but I would recommend to set it to 5 here, or maybe 3 if you want to see the top 3 here. And then a max value of, let's just take 50, but also this is customizable, your choice, but in the end you just define the range of the slider here. Then the default value is just 10, and the step is just 1. You just want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. So this will create a slider where the user can pick values from 5 to 50 in 1 steps. By default, you will get the top 10 values. I'll show you in the final dashboard. Or actually, let's do a quick look at the dashboard for now, where we are currently. So save the file, never forget that. Then stop the current terminal and just run the dashboard again. So you see we have some nice sidebar now. So the user multi-select, then the metric to rank by, single select, then the radio here, so where he can pick descending or ascending, and you're just getting a Boolean value depending on what you're picking here. And then the slider, as you see, minimum value at 5, maximum value at 50, where the user can pick whatever stocks he wants to include of the top N values. Looking pretty good now. Only thing basically missing now is the whole backbone, so the whole data here, which is filtered by the picked data. So we just have to make the data visible, ranked or filtered by those picked metrics. This is the next step. So let's start by the ranked stocks. So let me move to Visual Studio again, obviously minimize this again. So we want to have the ranked stocks. So we just create a subheader here so that you know what you're actually showing. And then you just say with an F string top, then you take the top N, whatever the user was picking, stocks by, and then whatever metric the user was picking. So selected metric. And then you want to add, I've just added across selected markets here. Across selected markets, just as an optional thing here. Then you just define ranked stocks. Use the function we defined above, so ranked stocks. And then you pass the filtered data frame. So just as a reminder, the filtered data frame is simply the screener filtered by the markets the user picked. So you pick the filtered data frame, and then as a column, obviously the selected metric by the user. Reminder again, this was just the whatever market cap, price earnings ratio, or dividend yield the user was picking. And then you define the ascending argument as the Boolean you define here. So if he says ascending, this expression is going to be true, otherwise false. So you just pass it. And then finally, just the top N is going to be the top N. So with that, you filter the stocks, and then you just create a data frame from Streamlit, looking more fancy as a pandas one. And then you pass the ranked stocks data frame. So let's quickly save and run it again. And then we do the rest of the dashboard, which is a fancy distribution chart that's straightforward. So cancel the current execution again, or you can also let it run and rerun the dashboards as I did a couple of minutes ago. Also possible, right? So Streamlit, run lit dashboard again. And we have the data frame, nicely looking, ranked by market cap. And if you change that due to the F string, this is going to get price earnings ratio. You have top 10, this is going to change based on the user pick here. So super nice until now. Let's make it even more fancy with a quick distribution chart, and then we are already through. And you can add whatever you're interested in. So back to Visual Studio Code. There we go. So last but not least, just a fancy distribution chart. So again, we have a subheader. So we just have a title of this chart, and then market distribution of top stocks. And then you just define market distribution, and then use the ranked stocks, then the market, and then just the value counts. So with that, you have from all ranked values, the market values, and then just the number of occurrences. So ranked stocks, market, and then value counts. So you're filtering, let's say for the top 10 dividends descending, and then you want to have how many of those stocks are from the S&P, how many are from the Hang Seng, Nikkei, NIFTY, and so on. So you just pick whatever the user was ranking based on his selections. Then you screen for the market in those filtered stocks and those ranked stocks, and you just count the values. So just the number of occurrences. And then you just want to have it as a bar chart, and then you get it as the market distribution. And that is the whole dashboard. So let's save it. And it's actually running still. So let me show you how you can pull that off. So we got it here. So you just you get the notification here, source file changed. So you can rerun, and then you see this fancy market distribution of top stocks. So how do you read it again? You have the price earnings ratio. I mean, in this case, it's descending, and you have the, let's take the 30s descending by price earnings ratio stocks. And you see that, for instance, 12 of them are in the NIFTY, 11 of them are in the Nikkei, and 7 of them are in the S&P 500. Now, interesting, it is getting, if you just take the dividend yield, put it on descending, and you see that you have a lot of Hang Seng high dividend payers here. So actually 18 are from the top 30 by dividend yield are from the Hang Seng, 3 NIFTY, 2 Nikkei, and 7 S&P 500. So super interesting insights here. Market cap, you will have a American domination, obviously, biggest capital market in the world. So you see, out of top 30 by market cap descending order, 27 stocks are from the S&P 500. So I find this super interesting. It's nice to play around. I hope you found this as exciting as I am. If you did, please do your part of the job and leave the video some love. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you in the upcoming videos. Cheers. Bye.